Hello. Hello, hi. This is
Hi.
Anirban here.
Hi.
Are you a Toastmaster or a guest?
I'm a guest.
Okay, you are a guest. Is it your first time attending a Toastmasters meeting?
Yeah.
Okay. Welcome. I hope you have a great meeting. I'll just quickly
Okay.
rename
Thank you.
myself. I'm actually from the club's ID. The meeting will start at 7. People will start joining anytime soon.
Okay.
So where did you get to know about Toastmasters?
I knew Toastmasters since when I don't know, but I knew Toastmasters as a club. I knew.
Okay, perfect. You got this meetings link from Gurpreet?
No, I got it from Ridul.
Mridula?
Yeah.
Okay, wow, perfect. Okay.
Hello.
Yes, I'm here. Tell me.
So, what can you tell me something about Toastmasters?
Yeah, sure. So, Toastmasters International is basically a public speaking platform. People
Yeah.
come here to, practice their public speaking skills and communication skills and leadership skills on a daily basis. So, basically, there are three parts in a Toastmasters meeting. The first is the prepared speeches, where, speakers along with their mentors, we are all assigned a mentor when we join Toastmasters. We all work on our speeches, which are according to the guidelines from Toastmaster Internationals. So, when you join Toastmaster, you have to select a pathway. Like there are different pathways according to what your goal is, what you need more. So you have to choose that, and there are different levels on pathways, and in different
Okay.
levels there are speeches, and every speech has a particular objective. So you have to
Okay.
prepare your speech according to that. So in prepare speeches, speakers basically prepare that and deliver that. Then there are table topics, which is basically an impromptu session where we have a table topic master who has decided a few topics, and they'll just voluntarily ask you to come, or they'll just pick you off and you're going to have to speak on a topic impromptu. There's no preparation for that. You're going to have to speak on it impromptu. And last but not the least, it is evaluations. So every speech has a evaluator. So there's a person who sits there and listens to all you say, and they evaluate your speech. And there's also a general evaluator whose job is to basically evaluate every single thing that is happening on the meeting. So I am the sergeant at arms. I'll basically start the meeting. Then the president comes and takes over. Then comes the toastmaster of the day. Now toastmaster of the day is basically like an MC, a host for the meeting.
Okay.
The job is to introduce everyone, to introduce the guests. Now unfortunately today we have a speech marathon, which is like we have today 6 speeches back to back. So there is no table topics, so it is speeches, 6 speeches, then 6 evaluations. In a
Okay.
normal meeting, like if you join next week, there'll be table topics. And if you are someone who feels kind of uncomfortable speaking impromptu, table topics is something that's like table topics is the thing that you need, because you have to be be comfortable speaking impromptu if you want to be a good speaker.
What are what are table topics? What
Table
do you mean by table topics?
Yeah, table topics is basically an impromptu thing. So we have a table topics master who has already decided a few topics. It can be anything. So they'll just ask you to come on stage, like on screen, and they're gonna give you the topic. And you're gonna have to speak on that topic for like 1 to 2 minutes. Like unlike
Okay.
prepared speeches where you like write your speech, then practice at home, and then come and deliver, that is
Yeah.
impromptu. There is no
Okay.
preparation in table topics. You're gonna have to think on the spot and deliver on the spot.
Okay.
But also you're gonna have to deliver it as a speech. So it is not like you're just talking, having a conversation. It has to be like a speech, like an intro, a good body, then a conclusion with a message.
Okay.
For prepared speeches, the time limit is 5 to 7 minutes. Like minimum is 5 and maximum is 7. and for table topics it is 1 to 2.
Okay.
So like I said, today we will not be having table topics because we have a speech marathon, which is like six
Okay.
back-to-back speeches. But next week, previous week also we had that, and next week also we'll have that.
Okay. So today is the first session, or
What do you mean by first session?
like Mridula said me that today is the first session of the Toastmasters Club.
Not really. Today will be about 651 session.
Okay.
Kolkata Toastmasters Club is actually the oldest community club in Kolkata,
Okay.
which is gonna be our 651 session.
Okay. Actually, my problem is I can't speak confidently and I get nervous speaking and
That's
I
why we all
stop.
joined. That's the exact reason we all joined Toastmasters to learn and help each other learn. And this is a
Yeah.
community where no one judges, but everyone is there to just help you in any way. Now that
Yeah.
we're having it online, but if you had visited in a club when we had it, in Calcutta Chamber of Commerce, it is in Park Street. I hope you know it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there when you attend, even before the meeting, after the meeting, everyone will come to you, everyone will talk to you. We all try our best to make you feel comfortable if you're coming there for the first time. And when you be in that kind of atmosphere, you see that everyone, it's like no one knows everything, right? We all are here to learn. We all are here to
Yeah.
learn from each other, help each other grow. So just attend a couple of meetings, you'll feel good about it.
Yeah.
Everyone tries their best to be the best version of themselves and to also help each other.
Yeah. When will be the session starting?
Yeah, it starts at 7, so people will start joining anytime soon.
Okay.
People usually start joining from 6:50 or 6:55.
Okay. Like, what is the age limit for joining group, the Toastmasters group?
I don't think there's a valid age. I joined at the age of 20. I am 21 now, so I think
Okay.
most people, not most actually, many people in our club are from college, like who have just started college. 18, 19, 20. There are also
Any,
people.
because I am married, so I
No, there are
can't.
all age groups of people. If you just stay here, our president, she is also she also has kids. She's also like 30 plus. There are people who have been in the community for 30 years. They're also a part of the community.
Okay.
So it's a saying that we say, like, once a Toastmaster, always a Toastmaster. Anyone who becomes a
Okay.
Toastmaster, they just don't leave the community.
Okay. So what's about the Toastmaster membership?
Toastmasters membership.
Yeah.
So basically, first of all, today, like when the president takes over, she'll ask that if like any guest is here, so she'll ask you to introduce yourself. And once the entire meeting is done, our vice president membership, they'll contact you and they'll take you to the like through the entire process of how to become a member. So our
Okay.
vice president membership is Toastmaster Gurpreet Singh. He'll be there. He'll be
Okay.
sending you a message, and you can connect on call or WhatsApp or whatever.
Okay.
Hi.
Hello. Hi. Am I audible? Hello.
Hello.
Hi, Vandana.
Hi.
Hi, Vandana ma'am.
Hi, how
How
are
are you?
you? I'm good. I'm good.
I'm
Hi,
good. Thanks.
Shreya. I don't know Nikita. Yes.
You're not audible.
I'm not audible. Wait,
No, no,
wait.
ma'am. You are.
Okay.
Toastmaster Shreya
Shreya,
is not
Shreya
audible.
is not audible.
Yeah.
Yes, I think so.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Amelia this side.
Hi, ma'am. Good evening.
Good evening. Give me
Hi,
2
Amelia.
minutes. I'll be back. If you have something, you can drop me a chat.
Okay, ma'am. Sure.
Thanks.
Am I audible now?
Yes, you are.
Yes,
Okay,
you are.
great.
Good evening, Shreya ji. Shreya ji, I was wondering, could you confirm with me my, or can I call you right now, real quick?
Uh, you can speak once Shauri is able to join. He might
Okay,
join
no
at
problem.
around 7:20.
7:20, no problem, no
So
problem.
we'll take this call after the general evaluator starts speaking to a team.
Yes,
Okay.
perfect.
Okay.
If you could just let me know, because I'm traveling a
Okay.
little bit.
Then
I
you'll be
got
the
caught
first
up
or
there.
the second speaker. Mhm.
Yeah, probably second is better actually.
No, so being the
yeah.
first or the second speaker works for you. Second. Okay.
Yeah,
Then we can have Dikshak is here. Yeah, Dikshak will have you as the first speaker.
Sure.
Okay, great.
Thank you, Shreya ji. Yeah, and even if you switch it, it's your call. I will make it work, regardless, as you say. You're the boss today. Okay, thank you.
I am the one who is evaluating Dikshak, right? Yes.
No. You are a boss and inspire us with nice speeches. Yes,
No,
yes.
no, yes, of course. But I am evaluating Dikshit, right? Because earlier it was in another name, but I'll be evaluating Dikshit, right? I think so. Yep.
Hi, is Shreya here? Hi,
Yes.
Shreya.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
I just wanted to know, like, you will call the general evaluator to
Hi, ma'am.
introduce the auxiliary roles, right? Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
So you will call
Hello.
the general
Yes.
evaluator on stage to introduce the auxiliary team, right?
In
Okay. Okay. Oh,
introduce
I just want
your role and the roles. Timer will be, I'll just, yes.
Timer is Devarshi Pradhan. Our
timer
counter
is.
is Ashmita Biswas. These are the
So
two
this
changes.
is something else in the roster. Can
Yeah,
you
yeah. Some small minor changes that to be made.
please
So,
share with me because
yeah,
I
yeah,
don't
yeah.
know
I'll do it. Definitely. I'm
the
so sorry.
timer and the auxiliary team.
Yeah, there was the last minute back also.
Yeah. I understand. That's completely fine. It happens. And the evaluators are same. They haven't changed, right? The speech evaluators are the same.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So I see now 5 speakers: Anam,
Yes, ma'am.
Seema, Dikshak, Gurpreet, and Naren. Is it?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Okay. Okay. What I thought was it was 7 speakers and 6 are there now. Okay. Got it. So our counter is Asmita, timer.
I'm sending you a list in the chat
Acha.
or something.
Okay. I'm just asking.
Yeah.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. I welcome all of you in the 651st meeting of Kolkata Toastmasters Club. Now, in every Toastmasters meeting, we have a set of rules that we have to follow to make sure that the meeting runs smoothly. Rule number 1, please make sure that you are on mute until and unless it is your turn to speak. Please do not unmute yourself until your time comes. And once you're done speaking, please mute yourself back again. Rule number 2, if your video is turned on, make sure to sit in an appropriate position and also make sure that you do not prompt anyone in any way through your video. Rule number 3, please refrain from writing anything inappropriate in the Zoom chat. And last but definitely not the least, you are not allowed to speak about sex, religion, or politics in a derogatory manner. Now, today we have a wonderful meeting ahead of ourselves with the theme A Toast to Toastmasters. And it is in a great occasion because yesterday in the United States, it was Thanksgiving. So I would also take this opportunity to make a toast to someone. Well, she is also the president of our club. So when I joined Toastmasters last year, she was the vice president of education. And she was someone who constantly pushed me, motivated me, and inspired me to go back to the stage again and again, be it as a speaker, be it in a role, be it in an ancillary role player. But she always pushed me to go to the stage again and again. And that finally helped me to become a confident speaker. So, ma'am, thank you so much for always motivating me and pushing me to go back to the stage. So, ladies and gentlemen, with that, please put your hands together for our wonderful president of Kolkata Toastmasters Club, Toastmaster Shreya Goswami Ray.
Thank you, Toastmasters Anirban. And trust me, all these praises motivate me to take up roles, speeches, and everything because the world may think that you're useless, but in Toastmaster, you are the wow factor of the meeting for every meeting. Welcome to the 651st meeting of Kolkata Toastmasters Club. And a very good evening to all Toastmasters and future Toastmasters. Thank you, everyone, for giving your time tonight. And thank you, guests, for your presence. You motivate us to better our meetings with each passing day. I request the guests to introduce themselves in the chat box, their name and what they're currently pursuing in life. And while you do so, I'll ask one of the guests to do that directly. So we have guest Ritika. Ritika, please introduce yourself. Not audible.
Yeah, I was on mute. So hi everyone. Good evening. I'm Ritika. So I'm basically from Pune, and wherein I have done my education and I was working in Pune. So currently I am in Kolkata. Uh, I used to work in IT. Currently I have taken a sabbatical for a few months, and I'm here in Kolkata. So my main intention was to join Toastmasters Club was to, of course, build on my presentation skills, enhance my leadership skills, and also find a social club here in Kolkata. So that's pretty much about me. Thank you.
Thank you, Ritika. And that reminds me, I joined Toastmasters when I was in my sabbatical.
Oh, great. That
And
inspires
I
me.
met the best use of my sabbatical.
That's great.
Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you.
Our Secretary Toastmasters Tanish Agarwal has circulated the minutes of the previous meeting. If you have any recommendations, kindly let us know within 48 hours, after which we'll consider it to be passed. A big round of applause for our Secretary Toastmaster Tanish Agarwal. We have many things in common with each other. And that one thing which we all here have in common is that we are all inspired by the fraternity named Kolkata Toastmasters Club, or rather, Toastmaster International. Toastmaster began as a series of speaking clubs organized by Rafsus Medley. He saw that there was a need for the people in the community to learn how to speak, conduct meetings, plan programs, and work on committees, and he wanted to help them. Such a noble initiative. The need that he wanted to address back then is quite relevant even to this day. And with this, I'm happy to announce that Kolkata Toastmasters Club has won this Medley Award for this year. A huge round of virtual applause for our Vice President membership, Toastmaster Gurpreet Singh. Thank you, Gurpreet. Our Toastmaster of the day was a very private yet extrovert person. She would spend the whole day with you, but was not in a position to share her inner feelings. She felt, how does it even matter to the other person? But now it's not the same. She's comfortable sharing how she feels, voicing her inner feelings. To know more about it, let's call upon the Toastmaster of the day, yours truly. So, as the president just said, earlier I was not comfortable at all sharing my personal stories to other people. However, after joining Kolkata Toastmasters Club, every Friday, trust me, every Friday I'm inspired by the stories of the speaker. And I realized that our shortcomings, our struggles, our joys have the power to touch another soul. And all we can collectively say is that heal the world and make it a better place. Now, coming to a typical Toastmasters meeting, a typical meeting has 3 segments. First is the prepared speech section, where the speakers prepare their speeches based on certain objectives with the help of their mentors. Second is the table topic section, where a member is required to speak impromptu on a topic. However, today we'll be having a speech marathon and we'll skip the table topic session. Then comes the evaluation section, wherein the speakers will be pampered for areas where they have excelled, and areas of improvement will also be mentioned so that the growth curve is always ascending. And we are privileged enough to have a transformational coach today to help us transform. When I saw her WhatsApp DP, trust me, I decided I'll never say again that men will be men. For she is so beautiful, seeing her all creatures on earth will be men. And guess what? She is from Lucknow. I'm suffering from COVID-19 and I just got back my sense of smell, thinking of tunde kebab and biryani. When I asked her what difference has Toastmaster brought to her life, she happily said, Toastmaster has given me ample opportunities to explore and exploit my creativity and potential. On that note, please welcome our General Evaluator, Distinguished Toastmaster Amilya Saib. Welcome, ma'am. Over to you.
Good evening, everyone. How are you all feeling this Friday evening? Is it warm or is it chilling? Okay, I'm sure it is warm enough because we have wonderful, warm people gathered together here at Kolkata Toastmasters meeting. So, as the theme is about Toastmasters, we have heard that change is inevitable, but change is constant. And that is what Toastmaster teaches us in a very unique way, in a very positive and supportive way. So, with that thought, let me take this part of your meeting forward as your general evaluator. So, as a general evaluator, I'll definitely be evaluating the overall meeting as to how it is being conducted. So, first, I will notice how the decorum is maintaining. If the people are on mute when they are not speaking, or is there any kind of disturbance happening? Second thing that I will notice and make sure that I'll note down is about how well prepared are the role players. And if not, of course, I'll help them with the feedback towards the end. Third thing is, of course, is what I will try and observe about the evaluation, because today is a speakathon. All the speeches would be great, I'm sure, but then how the evaluators are doing it is what I'll make a note of and share my feedback as well. In other meetings, I'm by default a parliamentarian, but we have a parliamentarian today for us. So I would like to call on our parliamentarian first to set the objectives as his role. Let's give a warm welcome to Toastmaster Tanish Agrawal as parliamentarian. Over to you.
Thank you, Madam Madam Amelia said, ATM. So good evening, everyone. This is Tanish, and I'm the parliamentarian for today's meeting. So today my role is to ensure that all the parliamentary norms are followed throughout the meeting. Specifically, I request members to do not use sex, religion, and politics in a derogatory manner. So show a virtual thumbs up instead of applauding when a member or speaker uses the toast word of the day. Use full form of all Toastmaster related terms. Do not unmute yourself unless it's your turn to speak. Mute yourself again after you're done with speaking. And don't write anything on the chat box while the speaker is delivering his or her speech. I'll present my report at the end when called upon to do so. Thank you. Over to you.
Thank you so much for that wonderful role objective set by you. And now I'd like to call on Wow. Who is Wow today? Any guesses? It's Toastmaster Adhiraj. Please take the stage and share the wow with us. So I am now, right now, just introducing my auxiliary team and supporting team in my own way. If that is any kind of challenge, do let me know. Or if you are short on anything, do connect with me. All right, over to Toastmaster Adhiraj.
Thank you so much, Madam Toastmaster. Good evening, everyone. My name is Adhiraj, and I am the wow counter for today's meeting. I will be making a note of all the wow moments which take place in today's meeting, and will be announcing the top 3 moments at the end of the meeting when called upon to do so. Thank you so much, and back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, Toastmaster Adhiraj. And now I'll move on to very important auxiliary role players who definitely help us improve in our speeches. Now, these are from three dimensions or three domains which will help us improve three aspects of our communication in an overall a speech. Now, let me acknowledge the timer who is keeping the time of our speeches. So, our timer for today is Toastmaster Deorshi Pradhan. Over to you, Toastmaster Deorshi.
Good evening, Toastmasters and guests. Time is one of the most essential part of our life. Whether it be a speech or a deed, it is best to be on time. So, as a rule of a timer today, my job is to make sure that all the speakers who are coming on the stage remain on time. I'll display a green screen like this. Wait, please, yeah, like this. When the speaker is on the minimum, reaches the minimum time, the yellow screen when the speaker reaches the median time, and the red screen when the speaker reaches the maximum time until the speaker stops speaking. For the prepared speeches section, the speech limit is mostly 5. Green at 5 minutes, I'll show the green card. At 6 minutes, I'll show the yellow card, and at the 7 minutes, I'll show the red card until the speaker stops speaking. For the evaluations, I'll show the green card at 2 minutes, the yellow card at 2 minutes 30 seconds, and the red card at 3 minutes. Please note there is a 30-second grace period on the top and the end part of the speeches. Back to you, Madam General Evaluator. Thank you so much. I'll give my report when called upon to do so.
Thank you. And I definitely call on for the report towards the end of this session. All right, let's move on to our next auxiliary role player, that is our counter for the day. What they say is if we don't change our mind, we cannot what our counter is going to record. It's all about a state of mind. If you want to know how, I'll tell you later on one personally. But then let me call on our counter for the day, Ashmita Biswas, to set the role objectives.
Thank you, Madam General Evaluator. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. As the R counter of today's session, my role will be to point out and note down all the filler words that are used by the speakers, such as or basically messages that do not add any meaning to the sentence, such as basically, like this. So I'll request all the speakers to use as minimum as possible these filler words and the useless messages. Also, I'll be noting the long pauses and the short pauses made by the speakers. Just a tip for the speakers, we often tend to use the and the filler words whenever we are thinking while speaking. So whenever you're thinking, just make it a short pause or just a pause instead of producing any kind of sound from the mouth like So that's a tip for the speakers. All the best to the speakers, and over to you, Madam General Evaluator. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Ashmita. And that was a great tip. I'm sure people will be able to take care of it. And if not completely, they will at least get a hang of it during their speeches. All right, moving on. Let's have the last role player, but who will be the most important role player to improve our language? Literally, language. So that is none other than Toastmaster Kirti as grammarian for the day.
Thank you, Mr. General. Madam General Evaluator, as a grammarian, it is my responsibility to pay close attention to all speakers, listen carefully to their language usage. I will take note of any misuse of the language as well as any outstanding usage. As a grammarian, it is also my duty to introduce the word of the day. For today's meeting, the word is cognitive. Now, it is an adjective and it means connected with thinking. You can use it like some of the cognitive functions have been impaired. Now, each speaker is encouraged to use the word of the day. I will give up the word of the day report and the grammatical use report when called upon to do so by Madam General Evaluator. Thank you so much, ma'am. Back to you.
Thank you so much. Now, as our grammarian stated very clearly, the word of the day is cognitive. I would want you to keep or have cognizance of what you are speaking, your ahs and ums, your language, And that is what makes your speech sparkling and shining. So keep rising and shining with every move that you're taking today in your speeches. With that thought, I just want to go ahead and let the evaluators know that it will be an evaluation done based on CRC approach. Please make sure that you make your notes and present a wonderful evaluation when we close the prepared speeches. With that thought, let's be more cognitive of the fact where we are, what we are doing, and what actions, how they are impacting each other and our own lives. Is it improving anything or not? With that thought, let me hand it over back to the Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Shreya.
Thank you, General Evaluator. I joined Toastmasters to become a better communicator. And the prized collateral benefit is that I have enriched myself with so many friends across various age groups and a wide range of interests. I don't remember getting so many friends in such a short time. And another person whom I look up to is a lady with a beautiful smile and the kindest heart. She'll be evaluating our first speech. When I asked her about what difference Toastmaster made in her life, she replied that Toastmaster gave her confidence to speak in front of people, which she didn't have earlier. Also, since members are so warm and supportive that the club reinforces belief in goodness. I request her, Toastmaster Vandana Agarwal, to read out the speech objectives of the first speaker. Over to you, ma'am.
Good evening, everybody, and thank you, Shreya, for such a lovely introduction. So the first speaker will be giving speech, the second speech of Project 1. And the purpose statement is, the purpose of this project is for the member to present a speech on any topic, receive feedback, and apply the feedback to the second speech. And the purpose of this speech is for the member to demonstrate that he or she has applied the feedback received from his or her first speech. And all the best to the speaker. And thank you very much once again, Shreya. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Our first speaker is a poet and a model as well. When asked about what difference Toastmaster has made in his life, he said he has learned professionalism in Toastmaster. He'll be delivering his Level 1 Project 2 of the Dynamic Leadership Pathway he has invented by distinguished Toastmaster Rohan Nag. Please welcome our first speaker of the day, Toastmaster Dikshak Bose, with a speech titled, My One True Love. My One True Love, Toastmaster Dikshak Bose.
Thank you so very much. Am I both audible and visible?
Yes, you are.
Thanks a lot. My one true love. Like, honestly, speaking about her, or rather thinking about her, I would say I saw the moon while seeing her face. It was my soul which made me call her my grace. It was her. I saw the sparkle of the diamonds in her eyes. It was her. Her hair draping over her shoulders, her poised posture, which I imagined, it was her. It was her care which touched my soul. It touched me. It was all her tenderness which crushed all my toughness. It was her. Wait, guys, wait. Just. Is it a real compulsion that whenever we come across all these cliched speech titles, my one true love, the person in my dreams, the person I adore the most, and so on and all, that our general cognitive thinking will quickly comprehend the fact that we are just speaking about our one romantic love. Is this a compulsion? A very good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Please allow me to ask all of you a very simple question. The question is, name the person you truly love, and you are just allowed to take one single name. What will it be? Probably someone will take the name of their husband, their wife, the girlfriend, the boyfriend, some the mother, the father, siblings, friends, so on and on. Some might also take the name of some very delicious food, of a dish, of someone may take the name of any famous car, of someone may love money, and so on. But have any one of you ever thought of taking your own name? I believe probably not all, or maybe if it's a very few number. Honestly, like, bro, why not? People might think it's a very weird idea. It's something of a narcissistic stuff. Well, no. If I'm asked, like, who I love the most, I'll simply take my name. And trust me, why? I'll tell you. It was my father's one in a million sperm, which traveled through my mother and it fertilized my mother's ova. And through this wonderful biological process, I happened to start growing as a fetus in my mother's womb, and it stretched for around 8 to 9 months. And then the results, wow, I was there as a baby. And probably it was the most cutest and the pampering stage of my life. And then was my childhood, full of confusions, bro, what's happening and not. And then now, my teenage, kind of figuring out what is happening or not. Moral of the story, it's you. This entire world, practical arena, harsh reality, it's you. Your life, your trouble, you're facing it, you're the fighter, you're your listener, your own healer, you're fighting, you're listening, and you're winning in life. So why not, man? So why not? Let's just sit for a while in front of a mirror, look at ourselves. And while looking at ourselves, let's just put a smile. And with the smile, why not adore ourselves? Why not thank ourselves? Why not appreciate ourselves for that one single time? Appreciate ourselves. And please do the favor of falling for the beautiful soul that you possess. Ladies and gentlemen, as the good old says, you cannot love one if you cannot love yourself. Mind you, love is an umbrella term. Love is synonymous with respect. Love is synonymous with humbleness. Love is synonymous with humility. Love is synonymous with gratitude. All together, love. Loving yourselves keeps you grounded. It fills you up with humility. It teaches you how to be grateful to life. And when that is there, you start believing in yourself. You get liberated. You get liberated being a happy person. And with all these, it's a wonderful experience. So whenever I'm asked about my one true love, I'll happily and boldly take my name. Thank you. Thank you so very much.
Indeed, Toastmaster Dikshak, we all are our favorite. And time and again, it's always good to remind us that it's impossible to pour from an empty cup. Our cup needs to be full, then only we can pour it to someone else. On that note, let me share. After joining Toastmasters, I really value practice and preparation. Mainly because I'm fairly good at delivering prepared speeches, and I'm a high probable disaster in table topics. So I can clearly understand the effect of practice and preparation. Our second evaluator is a bubbly sweet girl who is a dancer and bubbling with new ideas. When I asked about what difference Toastmaster made to her life, she was crisp. She said, the definition of Friday 7 p.m. has changed for her. I request her, Toastmaster Komal Churaria, the speech objectives. Over to you, Toastmaster Komal.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day. Good evening, everyone. The speaker is delivering her Level 1 Project 2 speech, Evaluation and Feedback from Pathways Innovative Planning. The purpose of this project is for the member to present a speech on any topic, receive feedback, and apply the feedback to a second speech. The purpose of this speech is for the member to demonstrate that he or she has applied the feedback received from his or her first speech. Timer, please note the timing for this speech is 5 to 7 minutes. All the best to the speaker. Back to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Komal. Our second speaker loves trekking and meeting new people. And hold on your excitement, for she is working with Income Tax Department. I have only one thing to tell her, ma'am. Tedious hurts, and really bad. She will be delivering her project 2 of Level 1. She has been mentored by Toastmaster Rohit Gupta. And our difference that Toastmaster made in her life, she said, I joined Toastmasters with the purpose of conquering phobia of speaking in front of strangers and to become less of an introvert. And I'm enjoying this path with gradual and steady efforts towards this purpose. Please welcome our next speaker, Toastmaster Seema Boipai, with a speech titled Mountains Calling. Mountains Calling, Toastmaster Seema Boipai. Over to you.
Am I audible? Am I audible? Yes, you are. Do you ever wonder what is it in the mountains that calls the mountaineers again and again? What compels them to go to the summit even if their lives are put on stake? And once, if they have succeeded in surviving, why don't they stop? Rather, they go again staking their lives onto a new summit. What is that pulling force that dominates all the dangers of those life-threatening paths? What is the mystery behind those irresistible calls from the white ice blankets and the low splendid mountains? What? Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Today I am going to share the experience of my first trekking expedition in Uttarakhand and the lessons I got from it. And in the meanwhile, we will be trying to find the answers of those what's. So, the story goes back to April 2012 in the district of Uttarkashi in Uttarakhand. In a freezing temperature, our troop of 45 trekkers, each one having a rucksack of minimum 15 kg, was trudging through the knee-depth snow path. It was still around 15 minutes more to reach the summit of Daira Bugyal. Up till now, we had been able to withstand the scorching cold winds. Shivering and freezing of limbs was a regular affair. Midnight strains with legs inside the sleeping bag were a continual reminder of being on trek. Also, the never-ending mountains were adamant on testing our perseverance. Before we could celebrate climbing one mountain, it was time to climb the next one. And it went on and on. Huge and horrifying view of the landslide zone once reminded us of the document on which we had attributed ourselves for any mishap during the course of the trek. We had to walk on that devastated path of loose rocks where one wrong step could wrap up our trek as well as our breath. Also, there were some tiny living creatures who had taken hospitality of trekkers extra seriously. The blood sucking leeches. We were not allowed to bathe every day, and on that, sprinkle of salt water every now and then. Just imagine. At times, we used to get exhausted, dehydrated, short breathed, and completely discouraged. But the mountains were calling. That vast realm of white snow blankets had something in it that lifted us beyond every discouragement. Moving on, we were about to reach the summit while weather seemed to be in a playful mood. Very soon, clouds became dense, and then happened the first ever snowfall of my life. It felt like we were being welcomed to the top with a gentle snow shower. I took off my gloves and turned my bare palms and face towards the sky to feel the soft and gentle, velvety touch of that powdery snow. That gentle touch of the snow dust filled us with lots of warmth. And soon enough, finally, we made it 13,000 feet above the sea level. The Dayara Bugyal was beneath our feet. It was immensely overwhelming and so liberating. Coldest of winds greeted us with their warm caressing. Clouds could be seen entangled at the tops of every other mountain. We had the view of huge mountain ranges and could hear the sound of peace. Peace of enormous strength and power of nature. As I lived that moment, I had answers to all the whats that I asked in the beginning. And those answers, ladies and gentlemen, cannot be shared in words. Each one of us, at least once in our life, must go on a mountaineering expedition. It teaches various lessons, such as whether in mountaineering or in our daily life. Like the never ending mountains, there are never ending problems in our life. We need to keep moving because at times, getting back is also not an option. We just have to keep faith and move forward. Also, whether in mountaineering or in our daily life, the joy of achievement multiplies when it involves sharing and caring for fellow travelers. And the biggest lesson being, when we aim high and refuse to succumb to the lows, nothing can stop us from achieving our goals and having the unprecedented view of life. What do you say, Toastmaster of the day?
Yes, indeed, Seema. And thank you for that wonderful speech. And once we've taken that step, we just shouldn't step back. As I said earlier, I'm a high probable disaster in table topics. But that doesn't stop me from raising my hand. I can be on track or completely off the track. I remember once in a table topic, I spoke of everything from fuchka, my kids, to husband, and maybe for only 5 or 10 seconds, I spoke regarding the topic. But it was fun. So after that, I gained the confidence that either you feel the satisfaction of having delivered a on-track table topic, or you get the fun of how silly you can be. And also, now I don't consider 2 minutes as something related to instant noodles, but 2 minutes is of 120 seconds. Our next evaluator is a banker who has a funny bone and is an epitome of calmness and prudence. When I asked him about the change Toastmaster brought to his life, what he said, I'll take with a pinch of salt. He said, I could not speak English before, now I can. I request distinguished Toastmaster Shaurya Roy the speech objectives of the next speaker. Over to you, Shaurya.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. I hope I am audible to everyone.
Yes, you are.
So the speaker is delivering a project whose purpose is for the member to apply the skills needed to successfully lead in a volunteer or other organizations, and for the member to share some aspect of his or her experience as a leader and or the impact of the 360-degree evaluation. All the best to the speaker, and would request the timer to please note that the time limit is 8 to 10 minutes. Thank you. Over to you.
Thank you, distinguished Toastmaster Shaurya. Our next speaker is a jewel. I've never heard him say no, and neither I have seen him without a smile on his face. He's a person who respects everyone and has earned the respect and high regards from everyone. He has been mentored by distinguished Toastmaster Siddharth Churiwal and will be delivering his Project 1 of Level 5 of Dynamic Leadership Pathway. Please put your hands together for our next speaker, Toastmaster Narendra Garwal, with a speech titled Unconventional Leadership Lessons. Unconventional Leaders, Toastmaster Narendra Garwal. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Madam Toastmaster of the Day. Lead, lead, lead your team fearlessly up the stream. Merrily, 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 merrily on towards your dream. My new mantra and modified nursery rhyme for all leaders. Simply put, leadership is about influence. It's about the power to influence a whole team, your colleagues, towards a larger dream or a vision. I have been fortunate enough to have many leadership positions in my life in the past, but the biggest one of them has been in the past 2 years, managing my family business and being part of the family business management. Since the past 6 months, I have had a single-minded focus on creating a system and process-driven business rather than a traditional SME in India. And this journey has been amazing and exciting one. But of course, as you know, with all journeys comes challenges, and it has also been a challenging one, which has made me grow as a leader. I am literally even today learning firsthand what works, what doesn't work in bringing dramatic shift and accelerating the performance of an organization and bringing a holistic and cultural change to a 30-year-old business. What is absolutely clear to me is that leadership is not just a role or a title, but leadership is about a positive influence in the organization and the people working in it to create positive results. So what are some important leadership lessons that makes one a good leader? Lead from the front. Oh well, but we've also heard leaders eat last. Lead boldly, but we've also heard lead subtly and gently. Be hardcore, but we've also heard be empathetic. What is the right way to lead? We hear so many conventional leadership advices, but today I want to present to you 3 subjective leadership lessons with anecdotes that I learned on the job that I hope some of you can relate to and use in your lives. Some of these lessons might sound shocking in the beginning, but please listen through to really understand what I mean. Having said that, let's dive into it. Leadership lesson 1. Do not be nice. Yes, I said it. Do not be nice. Being nice is a sickness. How many of you were in school and that one really nice person used to irritate you and you never wanted to be friends with them? Because if someone's too nice, you don't relate to them. But that's not what I mean. Let me give you an example. There was a senior leader in my company, and when they were getting onboarded, they had big plans and had promised a lot of results. We had invested a lot of our funds to onboarding them and having them as part of our team. But as time went by, I saw some of the commitments that they had made and some of the results that promised were not happening and were not coming through. But I used my traditional technique of being nice and always motivated them. No problem, it will work. And then another result didn't happen. And I said, okay, no problem, it will work. And I kept using my niceness and motivation to keep the employee going. But the thing is, the colleague ultimately did not show a lot of results. And after a point, it became a point of contention. And then one day on the internet, I read a Steve Jobs quote. And this is what Steve Jobs said: if you want to be nice, don't be a leader. Go sell ice cream. Yes, he said, go sell ice cream. And I tried to go to the depth of what it means. And I realized just because I wanted to be nice to someone from my selfish motive of having a good personal relationship with someone on my team, I was compromising my role as a leader to do better for the whole team and the whole organization. And I realized there is actually selfishness in niceness. I would like to differentiate kindness and niceness. Kindness is something else, but niceness is just not wanting to hold somebody accountable so that you have to face them and confront the results that are not happening. And this really showed me the power of accountability. A leader should not always worry about being nice, but they should allow themselves to hold people accountable, even if it causes them to compromise on their personal agenda with somebody. That's leadership lesson number one. Do not be nice. Again, I'm not saying do not be kind, but do not be nice, because niceness is a sickness and you have to hold people accountable for the betterment of the whole team. Coming to leadership lesson two, unconventional leadership lesson two. Fire yourself from your job. Yes, fire yourself from your job. I've seen some leaders come and lead as if this is their chair and they're going to be on it forever. Everything is dependent on them. They take all the decisions and they are the biggest bottleneck in the success of their organization. When they are gone, everything stops. Nothing works. This makes them feel very important and has a big power that they have them in their hands. But also, this makes them a very poor leader, a leader of the lowest order. Leaders need to learn how to create systems and delegate work so that the organization functions without them. They need to really, as soon as they get in the chair, start already planning to fire themselves from the job so that when they are missing, the organization and the people can still keep thriving. So once I started creating systems and putting them in place, I realized, wow, I was actually the biggest bottleneck in my business and why it was not growing and why there were challenges. But once systems and other things were in place and I let people take decisions and I let people get delegation, then people were happier. And also, I think the organization opened up to grow a little further. So fire yourself from your own job. Leadership lesson 2. Leadership lesson 3. Adults are kids. What do I mean by that? Adults are kids. So as part of the project, I had distributed a 360-degree evaluation of myself as a leader among my team. And while visiting the evaluations, I saw I scored a little low on conflict resolution amongst the team. So I started wondering, okay, where am I missing and how can I do it better? And I realized there were a couple of senior members on my team who did not have a very good interpersonal relationship. And that was causing work challenges for the both departments that they led. I started realizing, maybe this is something I've been putting under the carpet. Maybe it's something I've always brushed aside, saying, they're adults, they're senior leaders, they can take care of the disputes that they have, and always brushed it apart. But after that evaluation, I realized, maybe I do need to intervene and act as a facilitator. So upon speaking to both of them individually, I realized there were so many issues and both of them were absolutely right in their own ways. But I asked them one fundamental question. Mr. A, so have you talked about these issues with Mr. B? Mr. A said, no. And I asked Mr. B on a one-to-one basis again, Mr. B, have you talked about these issues with Mr. A? And they said, no. It's like, that's very interesting. All the problems that they were facing and all the issues they were talking about were symptoms. They were just symptoms. They were playing a hardcore game of I heard through the grapevines and they were not even communicating. And I realized the root cause was lack of communication between them. So I got to them together and we went through a process of conflict resolution with my intervention as a facilitator. Having done that, they already feel much better and the coordination in the departments have improved thanks to this project and the evaluation. That made me get a big lesson. People are adults, but we all have a psychological child within us. And as a leader, you have to recognize that. We have to recognize when to step in and help somebody in their psychological child state to bring them up and make them a little more mature, as we all have that psychological child within us from childhood. And these are the 3 unconventional leadership lessons I got, my friends. Being nice is a trap. Do not be nice. Allow yourself to hold people accountable for the betterment of the whole team. Second, fire yourself from your own job because that becomes your responsibility so that the organization can thrive and function even when you're gone. And third, adults are kids. Not everybody is mature in all ways, and we all have a psychological child within us. And sometimes a leader needs to step in and help somebody look at something maturely when the psychological child within them is activated. I've realized that change is tough, transition is tougher, but in the end, it's all beautiful. I'm happy that I got to do this project and reflect on my leadership lessons, and I'm glad I got to share them with you. Thank you very much, Madam Toastmaster of the Day. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Naren. And all I can say is that even if you sell ice cream, you won't be able to please a diabetic person. And talking about evaluations, that is the best thing I like about Toastmasters. For it is a combination of being prepared and acting on the spot. I'm more open to feedback, so much so that at times I sound like Aab has mujhe maar, or I invite the bull to attack me. Customers of my branch at times feel uncomfortable when I thank them for complaining and ask for more. And guys, trust me, Toastmaster is the only place where you can give us girls recommendations and we nod with a smile. Our next evaluator is a lovely lady who has just joined back after a break. When I asked her the difference Toastmaster brought to her life, she said, I was always an introvert kind of person. So through Toastmasters, I learned something and how to talk to people. This is one of the major differences it brought to my life. Our next speaker will be delivering her icebreaker.
Hello.
Hello.
Am I audible?
Yeah, please wait. Give me a second. Yeah. Said, previously I'll get conscious while speaking out of fear of judgment, but now I look forward to being evaluated after my speech because the constructive criticism provided by the evaluators helps us improve and it boosts my confidence for my next speech. She has been mentored by distinguished Toastmaster Archita Tiwari. Please welcome our next speaker, Toastmaster Anam Rahman, for the speech titled, The Road Not Taken. The Road Not Taken, Toastmaster Anam Rahman. Over to you.
Good evening. The speaker is delivering her icebreaker today, and the purpose of this project is for the member to introduce himself herself to the club and learn the basic structure of a public speech. Timer, please note that the time limit is 4 to 6 minutes. As the speaker is delivering her icebreaker, I encourage everyone to kindly unmute and applaud at the end of her speech. And also, all the best to the speaker.
Thank you. Am I audible? Hello, am I audible?
Yes, Anam, you are.
Okay, thank you. After 12 years of going to the same school, it was on my last working day that I found out there was another route to my school, a shorter one. Greetings, dear Toastmasters. I am Anam Rahman, a jack of all trades and master of some. With two useless sisters at both ends, I am the middle child of my parents, which explains my over-competitive and excessively discreet nature. As a child, I wanted to be the principal of my father's school. I love learning new things and taking up new paths, irrespective of where it leads to. After all, ain't the chase always better than the cats? In the various paths I signed myself up for, more often than not, they led me to a conjuncture where I had to decide for my journey ahead. Now, for a geographically challenged person like me, this choice never came easy. Let me tell you a story about it. I was in 12th grade and my school life had been nothing less than extraordinary. I made sure of it. Like any other ambitious person, I always had my eyes on the prize. I may not have been able to achieve all those goals, but my school's motto taught me that not failure, but low aim is a crime. Although there was one thing I maintained a streak in: leadership. So in 12, when I became the head girl of my school, naturally, the responsibility of all student activities fell on me, and I embraced it with open arms. On our last working day, we had back to back events lined up for all classes, and it was my responsibility to organize and execute all of them. The day came, and out of all the days, my alarm clock chose that particular day to stop working. I woke up with a start at 8 a.m. and guess when my school's main gate used to close? 8:05 a.m. In under 3 minutes, I got dressed and had hit the road. With a laptop in one hand and a fat accounts book in the other, I ran. I was just 15 steps away from my school's main gate when I heard the parents yelling, "This gate has been closed. Go to the back gate." Suddenly, I was intercepted by a middle aged man who I had never seen before. He offered to drop me on his bike to the back gate. I had one closed door in front of me, my house at the back, and this hopeful but unknown route to my left, which I had to cover with a stranger on his bike. I found myself at a juncture where the selection of the right route was crucial both literally and figuratively. Turning down the offer would mean missing out on the event. So, without giving it a second thought, I took the left turn and sat on the bike. The moment he started the bike, all the episodes of Crime Petrol started flashing before me. It was 8:05 a.m. and now I could finally see the back gate of my school, and this God sent angel safely dropped me in time. Then I heard my share of scoldings for having taken such a huge risk, but there was no way I was going to let one day so easily ruin the reputation I had built all over the years in school. Because it is not the first impression which lasts, it is that one wrong impression, the missing of that one event which could have changed everything for me once and for all. This day marked the beginning of what was to become a daily routine of my life, making the right call. As I moved from school to college to the corporate world, this problem of choice and the pressure of taking the right one intensified along the way. What started as a literal crossroad transformed into a metaphorical one when I had to decide my firm for my CA articleship training. Obviously, my ambitious self wanted to get into the best one of the top fours. After a lot of hard work and a lot of intensive interviews, I finally made it into one of them. I was ecstatic when the HR called me. I immediately rushed to inform my parents, but unfortunately, the feeling was barely shared. My father had recently been diagnosed with a chronic kidney disease, which meant more rest and less work for him. And it also meant that one of his three daughters would have to administer the morning section of the school. Taking this up would mean giving up on one of the biggest opportunities of my life. This was probably the most difficult crossroad I'd ever been in till date. With a very, very, very heavy heart, I tossed out that offer letter and never looked at it again. I became the principal of my father's school. And how? I think that is why I say, careful what you wish for. Do I regret my choices? I don't know. I never will, because I did not tread on the other path to be able to compare the two. I can only resonate with the lines of Robert Frost from his poem, The Road Not Taken. I shall be telling this with a sigh, somewhere, ages and ages hence. Two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. Thank you. Back to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Toastmaster. Had it been in the, would have given you a standing evolution. Wonderful job done. You have certainly raised the bar. I joined Toastmasters. I joined Toastmasters to become a better communicator. With that, I get to enhance my skills as a leader, as a team player, in organizing meetings, setting up agenda, motivating and convincing fellow Toastmasters, and a lot many things. It has become a part of me now. It has given me things which money certainly cannot buy. Our next evaluator is a multitasker. When I asked her about the difference Toastmaster brought to her life, she said, Toastmasters has helped me raise the volume of my voice from 7 to 25. It has given me friends who have become my chosen family, mentors, who have guided me in a lot many things, other than speeches and bucket loads of memories that will be treasured for life. And our next speaker is a jewel. Just give me a second. I need to. Yes, even he has raised the bar for all of us. And if I have to talk about him, I have to take up the role of Toastmaster of the day and make him the theme. When asked about what difference Toastmaster made to his life, he said, Toastmaster has helped me make myself heard of to a diverse set of people from different backgrounds and professions. The personal experiences that each of them bring to a table has helped me look at life from a wider perspective. He has been mentored by distinguished Toastmaster Archita Tiwari and will be delivering his elective project of level 3 from the presentation mastery pathway. Please put your hands together for our next speaker, Toastmaster Gurpreet Singh, with a speech titled Greatest Olympic Prize. Greatest Olympic Prize, Toastmaster Gurpreet Singh. Over to you.
Before Gurpreet shares his wonderful speech, I would like to take the opportunity. Madam Toastmaster and Madam General Evaluator, I'm facing some network issues. So is it okay if I switch off my video for now?
Yes, sure.
Okay, thank you. Okay. So the speaker, Toastmaster Gurpreet Singh, will be delivering his speech, which is from the project Inspire Your Audience. The purpose of the project is for the member to practice writing and delivering a speech that inspires others. The purpose of the speech is for the member to inspire the audience. The speech length is 5 to 7 minutes. Mr. Timer, please note that. And all the best to the speaker. Over to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Should I go ahead?
Yes, please.
Okay, I hope I'm clearly audible. I hope I'm audible.
Yes, you are audible and perfectly.
Yes. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, what does it take to win an Olympic medal? Years of sacrifice, self-discipline, struggle. Is it? Perhaps this is exactly what Lawrence Limix believed when he was chosen to represent his country in the Seoul Olympics 1988. But did Lawrence win the Olympic medal? Good evening, Madam President, fellow Toastmasters, and dear guests. 24th September 1988 was the big day for Lawrence Limix. The exploding pistol signaled the start of the sailing event. The competitors set sail in fine weather, and Lawrence Limix was heading towards his Olympic gold. But soon, the weather changed for the worse. The waters got choppy, the boats got wobbly, and yet, ladies and gentlemen, the race was on. Despite adverse weather conditions, Lawrence Limix was in second position halfway through the race. In his mind, he envisioned the Olympic medal which would be his in a matter of minutes. His lifelong dream was about to come true. He pushed himself harder. And when he was just meters away from a handsome victory, ladies and gentlemen, across the waters, he noticed two men struggling for their lives. These two men were from the Singapore team participating in another sailing event. They were clinging onto a capsized boat, crying for their lives. Their lives were in danger, ladies and gentlemen. At once, Lawrence understood what he had to do. Quickly changing course, he headed towards the two sailors in distress. He did manage to rescue both of them, waited for the rescue patrol team to arrive, which did arrive in a matter of minutes, and took the two injured men to provide medical attention. But all was not over. Not yet for Lawrence Limix. He returned back into the race, but he had lost a lot of time in trying to save two lives. From number 2, ladies and gentlemen, he slipped down to number 22 in a field of 32 competitors. His lifelong dream of achieving the Olympic medal was shattered. But at the awarding ceremony, he was awarded the medal for sportsmanship, courage, and sacrifice. In our life, ladies and gentlemen, we so often face the situation that Lawrence Limix faced. There is always this conflict between personal glory versus the larger good. Can we willingly sacrifice our personal glory to achieve that larger goal? It is often said that the road to the top in the corporate world is littered with corpses. Friends, associates, colleagues are sacrificed at the altar of personal glory. Ask yourself, I say ask yourself, is it worth? What do you want to be remembered for? Getting the top job? Amassing a fat bank balance? Or making an impact in somebody else's life? You might get the corner cabin faster than your colleague, but in your twilight years, when you sit back on your rocking chair and think back. What do you want to be remembered for? What do you think you will be remembered for? As Lawrence Limix or 31 other sailors who ignored the two sailors in distress? Today, ladies and gentlemen, Lawrence Remix is retired, but the most sought after coach. In an interview to the CNN, he said, "Thank God I didn't win the Olympic gold. Had I, the world would have forgotten me by now." Many people have won Olympic medals, but few have achieved what Lawrence Limix has achieved. It is time, ladies and gentlemen, to redefine true success. It is time we ask ourselves, what is our gold medal? What is our greatest Olympic prize? How do we react when our fellow sailors are in distress? Ladies and gentlemen, the question is not what you would have done had you been in Lawrence's place. Ladies and gentlemen, the question is, what have you done when you have so often been in Lawrence's place? Remember, medals don't matter. Metal does. What do you say, Toastmaster of the day?
Thank you, Toastmaster Gurpreet, for that wonderful take on the topic. And before I hand it over to a general evaluator, I must confess, Toastmaster for me is a mine of opportunities, a mine of life skills, a mine for unleashing your potential. And it depends on us how much we are able to extract. On that note, please welcome our ravishing and charming general evaluator, distinguished Toastmaster Amelia Said. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much for calling me ravishing. I don't feel like doing anything. but thank you so much again. Well, is the breakfast of champions. I want to share something else with you. Elon Musk, who doesn't know him, he says that I think it is very important to have a feedback loop where you are constantly thinking about what you have done and how you could be doing it better. That is exactly what is done in Toastmasters. We are performing, we are attempting speeches and looking forward for feedback. So now is the time that you will get feedback for the wonderful speeches that have been attempted by lovely speakers today. Let me start on with the speech evaluation process first. It would be on the CRC approach where commendation, recommendation, and commendations would be shared by the evaluators. We also call it a sandwich approach because the recommendations are wrapped up nicely between the two commendations like a sandwich, and then it is presented so that the speaker is motivated to improve further in his or her speeches. Well, I'll not let you think more about or wait. I'll end your wait here. I'll be calling on the first evaluator, who is Toastmaster Vandana Agarwal, for the speech of Diksha Bose.
Good evening, everybody. Good evening, everybody, and a special good evening to dashing and daring Dikshit Bose. Can I look at him? I just wanted to see his reaction. Just give me a second.
Ma'am, we have to rush for an emergency, so I'll convey the feedback.
Okay, fine, no problem. Let me talk about his speech. This speech, My One True Love, was full of surprises for me. The first surprise which was there for me was that the way he talked about the lady love of his life. I was surprised that at this age, how can he talk at length about somebody whom he loves, and probably he loves her too much. But then the second surprise was when he said that all the love need not be romantic love. So I thought that probably he would talk about his mother, the falling hair and all those things he said. But then the third surprise was that he talked about himself, that he loved himself way too much. So I think this speech was full of surprises, which kept me hooked to his speech. The number fourth surprise was that he used the word of the day, which was very surprising again, because as as a person who is giving just the second speech and using the word of the day is commendable, and that too in a prepared speech. So those things I really liked. I loved the way he talked about his childhood, how one sperm entered his mother's womb, and then he's so special, and how he described himself as being so special, and why not love himself. So that was very cute. And the way he said that a cute little baby was born. So the picture was very cute, that yes, a cute little baby was born. And the way he loved himself felt like I also loved him that way. I mean, I really felt in love with him because he loved himself that way. One point of recommendation that I would suggest to Dikshak was that he had enough time, but he stopped his speech just at 5 minutes. He could have used 2 more minutes for explaining a lot of things. Probably how he could have explained how he loves himself, or he could have cited an incident that this is how he does it. There are times when there are people who don't love him, but he loves himself. So he could have given some examples, because he was left with a lot of time and he was speaking very slow. So that way he had time. Well, his vocal variety was good, eye contact was good, gestures were good, and since it was his second speech only, I'm sure he would improve with every passing speech. So all in all, it was a good and very, very refreshing speech for somebody who is talking about loving himself so much. And he was confident, and I just loved the way, and I wish him all the best for his next speeches. Thank you, and over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Vandana, for that wonderful, crisp, and very motivating evaluation. All right, let's move on to the next evaluator who will evaluate the speech of Seema Boipai, and that's Toastmaster Komal for her speech. Over to you, Toastmaster Komal.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters, dear guests, and the trek enthusiasts amongst us, Toastmaster Seema. I'd like to raise a toast on behalf of all the fellow Toastmasters guests to Toastmaster Seema for having completed a mountain expedition of 13,000 feet. If you all don't know, that is about 4,000 meters, half of the world's highest peak. That definitely does not sound easy, at least not to me. So, congratulations, Toastmaster Seema, for having done that, because it not only motivates us, but also you to keep moving forward. What I really loved about your speech was that you gave it straight from your heart. A speech, when given straight from your heart, directly reaches the audience and helps you reach the message that you had to give very directly. So, the energy with which you gave your speech was really contagious, because I could feel myself at the top of 13,000 feet, feeling free, confident, and motivated. The second thing that I really loved about your speech was the pitch with which you delivered your speech. This was one of the recommendations that was given to you in your previous by your previous evaluator, and I think you've worked a lot on that, because when you said freezing, you had the voice modulation. When you said going back to 2012, you had the voice modulation. So I think you've worked quite well on that, and that objective of the speech was fulfilled. The third thing that I really loved about your speech was the message. It was loud and clear. The analogy of climbing the mountains and never going back to life was very clear. Keep moving forward, keep going ahead, and never fall back. So that message, as I said, was direct from the heart, reached directly to us, and motivated one and all present in the audience. But as with this message that we should keep moving forward, there were three observations and the what could be improved factor from my side. The first one would be that when you want us
to have a visual image of the description of the mountains and how you're traveling. I feel that there should be no pauses while you're explaining that, because we are trying to imagine that. And my feeling of 13,000 feet would have been better if there were less pauses while you're explaining that, because I was thinking that you were thinking of what to speak next. You were taking certain pauses which were not required. The second thing that I felt was there was an abrupt shift in your speech when you said there was a huge smile on your face, and you said that now I think that I've answered the what's that I asked in the beginning, and suddenly you shifted to moving ahead and the journey that had. So I felt that that shift was a little abrupt. A few more sentences of how the words were answered could have made the transition smoother. The third thing that I felt was the incoherence in your speech with your hand gesture. When you said touch, the touch came later, and then this gesture came. So all in all, trekking improves your cognitive ability and emotional health. So keep trekking, keep moving forward in life, because getting back is not an option. Thank you, and back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you so much for that wonderful evaluation, Toastmaster Komal. Let's move on to the third evaluator. For the third speaker, DTM Shaurya Roy for Toastmaster Narendra Garwal's speech.
Thank you, Madam General Evaluator, and a very good evening to one all present here, especially to my target speaker, Toastmaster Naren. This is not the first time when I am hearing you, and I have had the opportunity to hear your speeches several times before. And in each one of those hearings, I have always been amazed by the different qualities of natural speaker which you possess. And tonight was no exception. From the very beginning of your speech, I was amazed by your delivery, by the throw of your voice, by your mannerisms, your dialogues, and your voice modulations. And from the very beginning of your speech, you laid the groundwork for all of us, as you mentioned different leadership styles and modules, and also your background when you shared with us the story of exactly how you did not want to get stuck into the conventional family business. And then you led us straight into three leadership stories, each one of which represented the three leadership styles, or rather the lessons which you learned from your own life. And in the process today, I can safely say that all these lessons will remain with me for a very long time, starting from now. And if I was to take examples, I would say, don't be nice. If you want to be a leader, go sell ice creams, fire yourself from your own job, and adults are kids. But having said that, another important aspect of leadership is time management. And today I feel that you could have done a better job in that particular aspect. And I will tell you how. In Toastmasters, there are always two ways of writing a speech. The first way is to select a single story, wherein we go really deep within that story and flesh out each and every detail of that particular story. And the second way, the one which was adopted by you tonight, was to have multiple stories, wherein we deliver different stories by the degree of their importance in our lives. And ideally, we want to allocate the least amount of time for the least important story, and so on and so forth. And today, as you delivered your speech, I thought that you allocated the maximum amount of time in your first story. The time taken for the second story was bare minimum. And then for your third story, you took almost an equal amount of time with your first story. So if I were you, I would have reversed the order of your story so that I could have left my audience with the maximum amount of impact according to the importance of my stories with my life. I felt that factor was missing. And also, since the red cards were up for a long time, I thought that in the beginning, maybe you could have spent some less time for introduction. That way, the impact which was there with the last story could have been greater. I thought that this was one area where you had some scope to improve upon. But other than that, your speech really was flawless and was able to accomplish each and every objective which was there in your particular project. If only you could have worked a little bit more on your time, I thought that this speech could have been a great international speech contest level. And I think that in your future speeches, if you are able to manage your time a little bit better, you have it in you to be a great international speech contest champion. All the best for that. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that wonderful evaluation, DTM Shauri Roy. And we'll now move on for the fourth evaluation, speech evaluation of Toastmaster Anam Rahman's speech by Toastmaster Rashmi.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone, and Toastmaster Anam in particular. What a beautiful speech we have witnessed today. That was just your icebreaker speech, and I must say, you have clearly showed us that what an icebreaker speech should be. Your voice modulation, your hand gestures while explaining your personal story, your vocabulary. I've often witnessed you playing a role as a grammarian, and you simply nailed it. Your entire speech was so organized. That was such a commendable job, Toastmaster Anam. Where there's certain points of improvement, but in Icebreaker we have very less. While concluding your speech, you mentioned a famous line of a very famous poem by Robert Frost. Maybe you could have opened, like you could have introduced. Opening line could be a better, like as opening line you could have mentioned some famous line of Robert Frost or some other famous poet. And also uh, you added personal story in a speech, which was cherry on the cake, because adding personal story shows us that how our entire speech we can relate to it, and it leads to us that like we well are connected, the audience are connected to the speaker. And also, all in all, your entire speech, your entire content, and the introduction, body, conclusion was organized, and must say that a new leader is in making. Back to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you so much for that evaluation, Toastmaster Rashmi. Now we'll move on for the last but not the least. The evaluation for the day is by Toastmaster Mridula Sen Gupta for Toastmaster Gurpreet's speech.
Yes, am I audible and visible? Just a moment, please.
Yes.
Medals don't matter. Metal does. What a wonderful end to your speech, Toastmaster Gurpreet Singh. I will tell you three things which I loved about your speech and three things where you could have improved. Starting with the wonderful pictures that you painted for all of us. You painted pictures with your words. You painted pictures with your body language. You painted pictures by using the stage which was at your disposal. We understood that you are a word master when you said, waters got choppy, boats got whoppy. And you used the power of three, the rule of three, which uses three words together to make a defining impact on your audience. So kudos to you for that. The second thing which I loved about your speech was the message. You connected with us by leaning in front of the camera. And also you mastered the connection with your audience by maintaining eye contact with your audience throughout the speech. It's very difficult to stay concentrated on that little black dot right over there on your system, but you conquered it. So kudos to you for that. The third thing which I loved about your speech was the excellent use of prop along with the defining message. And the message which was short, crisp, and held on to us. Since it was only 5 words long, the audience is surely going to take it back home. But as we know, the biggest room in the world is the room of improvement. And in Toastmasters, we are all here craving for constructive feedback. So here are 3 points for your improvement. The first one goes like this. So I believe, Toastmaster Gurpreet, you had wonderful stagecrafting, but in some moments we could see that you moved to the extreme right of your stage and some parts of your body got cut. We wouldn't want that, right? Because if you would have done something on that part of the stage, we would have missed out on it. So my advice to you, it would be to put some kind of object or put some kind of line so that you know that yes, this is the outer boundary and I'm not going to cross it. The second thing which you could have improved was you mentioned about two men struggling for their lives in one part of the speech. And you spoke about them for quite some time. But if you could have moved yourself to one part of the stage and showed the place where they were and the place where you were, I mean, the character of the speech was, and if you could have run back to them like Lawrence Phoenix did, that would have added some kind of impact and made us aware that yes, this is the stage and these are two characters which are at two different parts of the stage. The third part is you had a lot of messages. You told us, can you willingly sacrifice personal glory to achieve that larger goal? Is it worth it? What do you want to be remembered for? The top job, fat bank balance, making an impact. You told us what you think you will be remembered for. You asked us, is it the time to redefine the success for you? Is it the time to ask ourselves, what is our gold medal? You had a lot of questions for the audience. And you indeed did with some pauses. But in order to absorb all of these messages in, I would request you to have a placard or some kind of prop which flashes the message in front of you and for the audience to absorb it. So all in all, I loved the message. I loved the usage of props, the wonderful usage of word crafting, and the word master that you are. Kudos to you for that. If you could only put a little more stress on the stage crafting, the usage of props so that you can deliver the message more effectively, I'm sure you will do a great job, and all the best for all your future speeches. Thank you, and back to you, Madam General Evaluator.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Amrita, for that wonderful feedback and evaluation. Now it's a time to call on some auxiliary role players. So evaluators, don't worry, I'll come back to you and provide you a feedback as well. But in my report, it will come as a detailed report. I'm trying to manage time here. All right. So first of all, I'd like to call on our parliamentarian for the day. Please step up on the stage or the virtual stage to share your report. Toastmaster Tanish.
Thank you, Madam General Evaluator. Good evening, everyone, once again. So, apart from few messages in the chat box while the speaker was delivering his or her speech, all the parliamentary norms follow throughout the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that crisp and to the point report. Now we'll move on, and I'll call the wow at the end because there will be more wows in the report. Ideally, we call the timer, accountant, and grammarian in this order as a tag team, but when we call them for report, we have to call them as GAT, G-A-T. So I will be now calling on a grammarian for the day, Toastmaster Samriddhi, who is taken over from Toastmaster Kirti for the report as a grammarian.
Thank you, Madam General Evaluator. So the word of the day were used by our General Evaluator, Toastmaster Dixit Bose, and the Toastmaster of the day. And the good usages of the grammar were value practicing and preparation, being nice is a sickness, epitome of calmness, what is your greatest Olympic prize? Not so good usages, hold on your excitement, it should be hold on to your excitement. Then you shift it in, then you shift it to funds to onboarding them, funds in onboarding them. Look at someone maturely, look at someone with maturity. You mentioned famous line, you mentioned a famous line. Thank you. Back to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you so much for the short and crisp report by our grammarian. And now I would like to call on the R counter for the day, Toastmaster Ashmita Biswas.
Thank you, Madam General Evaluator. So I'll start from the beginning. TMOD Shreya Kushwami said 2 hours, 1 arm, and had one long pause. TTM Amelia was flawless till now. And TM Deorshi had used 1 hour, long pauses 2. TM Adhiraj was flawless, TM Kirti was flawless, TM Dikshak was flawless, TM Seema had used 1 hour and 2 long pauses, TM Naren was yet again flawless, TM Anam was flawless, TM Gurpreet was also flawless. TM Vandana had used 2 hours and 1 arm. TM Komal has used 3 hours, 1 arm, 2 hours, and an unnecessary use of the word but. DTM Shaurya had used 1 arm. TM Rashmi was flawless. TM Mridula has used 2 hours and 2 arms. TM Samriti has used 1 hour and 1 arm. That is all. Over to you, Madam General.
Oh, that was fantabulous. I would say that our counter report has never been so crisp. I want to really thank you for that. Wonderful. Let's move on to the timer of the day. And let me call on the timer for today, Toastmaster Devshi Pradhan, to present the report.
Good evening, Toastmasters and guests once again. Since I was taught not to be too nice, so I'm going to be a bit harsh with my words. So there were two speakers who crossed the time limit. They were Toastmaster Naren, who reached 9 minutes and 46 seconds, and Toastmaster Mridula, whose time limit was 4 minutes 32 seconds. All the other speakers were on time. Toastmaster Naren and Toastmaster Mridula are not eligible for voting. Back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you again for that wonderful and crisp report. Well, that saves a lot of hassle for the general evaluator. That means I will have to talk a lot. So I would want to ask the timer, how much time have we left in the meeting, because we have to complete everything, including the closure. Or how much time do I have?
And the time limit is not set, so I think we would be good.
Okay, all right. So I'll present my report, but before that, I'd like to call the WOW. The WOW is Toastmaster Adhiraj, and Toastmaster Adhiraj, please share the WOWs for today.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster, and good evening once again. We witnessed some absolutely wonderful speeches today, and there were plenty of wow moments, which has made my job extremely difficult. I managed to bring it down to 3, which in my opinion were the most impactful moments for today. Number 3 has to be TM Narendra Garwal, one of the lines he used from Steve Jobs, that if you want to be nice, then don't be a leader, but sell ice cream. Number 2 was TM Gurpreet, the way he ended his speech with the line that medals don't matter, but metal does. And number 1 has got to be TM Anam Rahman. In her Icebreaker speech, the way she spoke, the way she connected with everyone, and the way she ended her speech with the last paragraph of Robert Frost's famous poem, I think I really enjoyed it, and I'm sure everyone else did as well. So that was my report for today. Thank you so much. Back to you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Adhiraj, and for all the wow factors. Let's applaud for all the wow factors today, the wows today. Okay. Thank you. Now it's time for my report, and my report is a little bit lengthy today. Well, I'll start with the meeting time. It started on time. The Sergeant at Arms was proactive and did start the meeting with great energy and positive attitude. Kudos to the Sergeant at Arms. Great job done. Big applause. All right. Next comes our Toastmaster of the day. Our Toastmaster of the day who's been just like a weaver bird, weaving so much beautiful, such beautiful words, such beautiful thoughts, with such meticulous and touching moments or touching things that we need to observe in Toastmasters. She's just made it like I would say it's like a butter. If you put the knife in the butter, it's like that. So I am really happy with the Toastmaster of the day, how she brought in and how she managed it well. The way the introductions were taken, wonderfully done, very well done. Thank you so much. And I would also like to applaud her as the president of the club. She presided over and switched on to the role in a very unique manner. So kudos for switching on to roles and donning multiple hats in such impeccable way. Next comes our uh, auxiliary role players. So the parliamentarian was alert, alive, and observing everything. Wonderful report. Our wow master, I would say, gave a great report, clear and crisp, and we all could feel that. Our auxiliary role players who help us improve in our speeches gave wonderful reports, which will it was flawless. I do not have any recommendation except I want to share one thing with the grammarian, that when you share the good usages of the word or by the speakers, please take names. This is how the motivation level increases of the speaker. If I've used so many beautiful phrases, if my name is taken along, it would be definitely quite motivating for you. And when we have to share the wrong usages or mispronunciations, we don't take names, we just correct it and present it so that people can learn from it. It's a passive learning mode. So I'm really amazed. Wonderful team altogether for the auxiliary role players. Now I'll now come to the evaluators. All the evaluators were definitely on their mark, on their toes, sitting alert and trying to get as much as out of these speeches to present their evaluation. With the evaluation speech contest going in, and this is the season, I would not evaluate every evaluator personally. If you want, you can connect with me one on one. But I'd like to share a few things, a few tips which have been missed by a couple of evaluators. First is, it is like a mini speech. Treat is like a mini speech of 2 to 3 minutes where your pauses, your expressions, your body language, your gestures, everything matters. Did you notice how I said it? Everything matters. So impact of your voice and everything would be there, because this is how it will motivate, support, or help the speaker improve. And this is what will be observed in every evaluation when you are appearing in a contest, that how supportive you were, what was your manner of delivery. So take it as a speech and focus on your delivery as well. You can sit or stand, it is up to you. The second thing is, take the ratio of the commendations and recommendations and do not miss out the summary. This was something that was missed by a couple of evaluators, quite in a rush, probably nervous. I do not know. I do not want to pinpoint, but then please focus on two commendations, two recommendations, and summarize it well. So when you start with the commendations, be very clear. I would like to bring out that how Mridula made it a point, like three things I want to comment and three things I want to recommend is a kind of way or a method that you can take. Well, there were a couple of times when we have to present our recommendations, it is also important how we can improve it in future, because pointing out or picking out the recommendation is easy, but how to make it better is very important for the speaker, which will be applied in future. For example, time management was one thing that was coming up a little bit here and there in a couple of evaluations. For time management is a simple tip that can be given to any speaker from the evaluator. Like, please record your speeches after writing, drafting, redrafting, record your speech, time it and see if the content is there within the time. I advise voice and video recording both to my speakers or my mentees, so as to understand if the use of body language is taking more time or if the voice is the voice and everything. So overall, all the evaluators did a great job. They missed out on few points which I have now shared in a nutshell, like a capsule to you. I'm sure it will help you. With that, I would say this meeting was very well choreographed, very well taken care. And why I say choreographed, because yes, life is music, and when we have to music or we have to live on this music of life, it is a choreographed, and the symphony that is created in this whole meeting. So I want to commend all the role players and uh, the speakers. The speakers were fabulous, fantabulous. So great job done, and thank you so much. Is and now Shreya. should we go ahead for the voting? How is it done? I would want you to take the lead on that.
Yes. Hi, DTM Amelia, Distinguished Toastmaster Amelia. Toastmaster Shreya is facing some connectivity issues, so she has asked me to take on. So, may I? Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. So, first of all, can we have a huge round of applause, virtual applause, and also by unmuting yourself to welcome and to thank our general evaluator for the day, Distinguished Toastmaster Amelia. Can we have a huge round of applause for her, please?
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Amelia, for gracing the occasion. We are very honored to have you with us today. So thank you for sharing your feedback and all the recommendations and recommendations. All the recommendations will be kept in mind and we will follow it in the days to come. Thank you so much for that. Now, moving on, I would request the Tech Master to kindly launch the voting poll.
Yes, Toastmaster Mridula, I'll be doing that in 2 minutes. Just I'm making the changes.
All right, sure. Okay. Okay, so as we have the voting poll created, let's have a couple of guest feedback. So we have a lot of guests who have joined us from different parts of the world, and I would like to ask guest Ritika. I see you have unmuted yourself.
Yeah.
Can you please share your feedback on how did you like the meeting? And yeah, if you have any constructive feedback for us, please.
Thank you, Mridula. I really enjoyed being a part of this thing. So I was in touch with Gurpreet and he was forwarding all the invites to me. So I was pretty much looking forward to this one too. This is my second invite. I really liked the experience, and the kind of thing that I'm looking for from a club is kind of pretty much matching. So I'm really hoping to join you guys soon and delivering one of my speeches very soon. So I'm really enjoying this experience.
Thank you so much, Ritika. Can we have a round of applause for her, please?
Thank you.
Ritika, you remind me the twinkle in your eyes and the enthusiasm with which you shared your experience. That reminds me, takes me back to my days as a guest in this wonderful club, which has a legacy of a long 12-year-old legacy. So
Awesome.
I'm very proud of my club. So thank you so much for joining us today. Anybody else who would like to share their experience? I can see guest Pratyush, guest Meghna, Ashmita.
Yeah, hi. This is Pratyush here.
Yeah, hi Pratyush.
Hi, ma'am.
You have muted yourself, sir.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah. So this is my second time as a guest here, and it's been absolutely incredible. I am in awe of all the people who gave such brilliant speeches, and I'm just looking forward to going along this journey with all of you involved and learning from each one of you, and hoping that I could be, a part of this as we go along. So I'm extremely grateful that I got to be a part of this.
Toastmaster Mridula, you are not audible.
Oh, sorry, I am muted. Okay, so as we see that our diligent the diligent secretary, Toastmaster Tanish, has shared the voting link. So I would request all the members and the guests to kindly go there and vote. And share with us any other feedback which you would like with us on the personal chat, on the chat or on the personal chat. We also have guest AD Silvermine, and we have been having you with us for the last 3 or 4 meetings. And let me tell you guys, he is our guest from the land of the pyramids and the Sphinx. That is, he is from Egypt. So welcome AD Silvermine, and would you like to share your feedback with us?
Thank you. I think you should stop considering me a guest at this point. I'm Indian from now on. I just need the passport to prove it. I enjoy every meeting. You guys are awesome. The energy is great. And I'm hoping to move to Kolkata soon. So hopefully I'll see you in person. Thank you.
Wonderful. We are also looking forward to meeting you in person, once all this pandemic gets over. Yes. Yes. Distinguished Toastmaster Amelia would like to share something. Yes.
Yeah, I would. Now I'm off my role, so I want to talk my heart out.
Absolutely. Please.
Now, what I observed is most amazing thing is the quality of comment the speakers, their hard work, along with their mentors who are working hard on making their speeches like music to ears. Yes. And I simply enjoyed every speech. The second thing that I would want to say is Saturday, 3:30 to 5:30, Toastmasters of Delhi also has their meeting. Anyone present here, if you would like to go ahead and join our meeting as a guest, please do so. And we are also going to have a joint meeting soon, but with whom we'll announce it on the social media. Well, so anyone who would want to, please go ahead and join Toastmasters of Delhi meeting. I would share the details with the president of the club and the VP Education. They can share with you, or you can connect with me on 8800894968. I'm posting my number here, and I'll be happy to take you as my guest for the meeting tomorrow or every Saturday. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, distinguished Toastmaster Amelia, for the warm and cordial invitation. We would definitely want to join your meeting, and I have personally attended few of the amazing workshops which you have organized, and I feel truly grateful that we're doing so much to give back to the community. Thank you for that.
We'll be
So
doing more workshops now, so that is another thing that is going to happen. That's a plan of action starting soon, probably in 1 week or so. So please do connect with us. Thank you.
all right, okay. So I would request Toastmaster Tanish to personally, PM me the results. That is personally message me on WhatsApp or here. So, but on personal message. So apart from that, I would also like to invite somebody who has agreed and who has expressed a lot of enthusiasm and a lot of interest to join this club. He is also a member from another community club of the same family of Toastmasters. To invite him, before I invite him on stage, I would also like to invite the induction officer, a very dear friend of mine, somebody who has been a past president of Kolkata Toastmasters Club, an area director of Kolkata Toastmasters Club of this community, and the immediate past ADPRM, that is the assistant district PR manager. With a huge round of applause, please help me welcome the very charming, the very radiant, distinguished Toastmaster Archita Tiwari. Yes.
Thank you so much, guys. And
yes.
Thank you, Mutula, for that warm introduction.
Yes.
Hi, Amelia. It is wonderful to have you. And I knew you were coming to the meeting, so I decided to deck up. And I thought might as well, be all decked up for you, because there's no point dressing up for men. So I decided on giving that up. We'll discuss that later offline. But yes, Adab arz hai, Assalamu alaikum, and good evening, everyone. It is a wonderful evening, and I'm really happy to be here. And as we induct this new officer, this new member, and welcome him to the club, I would just like to say a few words as the induction officer. Every single time that we welcome a new member into the family of Kolkata Toastmasters Club, and by extension into the family of Toastmasters International, we promise that we are going to be there for him in his journey of communication and leadership. And that is exactly what each member, each Toastmaster here promises you, whether or not from Kolkata Toastmasters Club. As long as they're a part of the extended family of Toastmasters, we promise to be here with you in your journey. We shall help you, guide you, be there for you. And we hope that you make the most out of this journey. And we hope that you are able to succeed in everything that you take up. And in case you don't be worried. We'll be right there beside you. Mridula, may I request you to please welcome our newest member and ask him to kindly take the podium so that I can give his induction. Are you there?
I'm sorry, guys. Okay, so he's somebody who works with CESC, and he will definitely bring a lot of energy in all our meetings. Looking forward to welcome Toastmaster Preetham Dey. May I please invite Toastmaster Preetham to come on the podium so that he's formally inducted in the family of Kolkata Toastmasters Club by distinguished Toastmaster Archita.
Good evening, Preetam.
Good evening, everybody. Good evening, ma'am. Hi, my name is Toastmaster Preetam Dey. I'm from CESC, that is Calcutta Electric Supply Corporation Limited. Besides this, I'm also a black belt in Jeet Kune Do. Now, Jeet Kune Do is a martial arts system which was propagated by the legendary Bruce Lee. Along with it, I am also a certified NLP trainer. And regarding today's meeting, I enjoyed it because this was my second meeting as a guest, and I was thoroughly enjoyed that total meeting, and it was nice of you to have inducted me as a member of your club. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Welcome, Preetam. We officially induct you as the member of Kolkata Toastmasters Club. And hereby, on behalf of all Toastmasters, may I assure you that we promise to support you in your journey of respect, integrity, service, and excellence, the four core values of Toastmasters International. Welcome and thank you for being here with us today. With that induction formally done,
So much,
yes,
ma'am.
Preetam, you were saying something. Please
No,
go
no,
ahead.
thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you, Preetam. With the induction having formally done, I hand over the stage back to our stand-in president for today, Toastmaster Mridula Sengupta.
Yes, thank you so much, Distinguished Toastmaster Archita. Can we have a round of applause for Distinguished Toastmaster Archita and Toastmaster Preetam Dey, who is a newly inducted member of KTN? Okay, so quickly moving forward, I would like to share the wonderful results of this amazing evening that we had. To start off with, we have somebody who is called the best evaluator, who gave the best constructive feedback in the meeting. So the best evaluator of the evening goes to none other than Toastmaster Komal Choraria. Let's have a huge round of applause to welcome her, guys. Congratulations, Komal.
Thank you, Mridula.
Can we have a beautiful smile on the, yes. I can't see you. Acha, okay. Yeah, there you are. So congratulations, Komal. That's wonderful. Now the next award goes to the best role player among the Toastmaster of the day and the general evaluator. And it goes to none other than the guest of our evening, who is a motivational speaker and a transformational coach. Let's have a huge round of applause for our general evaluator of the evening, the distinguished Toastmaster Amelia Saib.
OMG, thank you so much. Thanks a lot.
Congratulations, ma'am. Okay, so the next, yes, so the next award goes to, so the next award is in the category of the auxiliary roles, the timer, our counter, wow counter, parliamentarian, and grammarian. And that goes to a surprise role player. And I'm very, very happy that he has taken up the role after a long time. Let's welcome with a huge round of applause the winner of the best role player in the category, in the auxiliary role category, Toastmaster Adhiraj Johri, who is the wow counter of the evening. Congratulations, Adhiraj. Hope to see you more on the podium.
Thank you.
That's wonderful. And now coming to the two most awaited roles, or two most awaited ribbons of the evening. The first one is the most improved speaker. Any guesses? Any guesses from the house? We had amazing 5 different speakers. One of them got timed out, and one of the evaluators got timed out as well. But any guesses about the most improved speaker? Any guesses from the house? Yes, yes, please. Toastmaster Seema, and you are right on point. So let's have a huge round of applause for Toastmaster, our guest speaker from our fellow sister club, Kolkata Youth Toastmasters Club, Toastmaster Seema Boipoi. Congratulations, Seema. Hope to see you more in our meetings. Wonderful, wonderful. And the best speaker of the evening. Any guesses, guys? Any guesses?
Yes. Gurpreet.
Toastmaster Gurpreet. Vandana ma'am, please, may I please, we couldn't hear your answer. What did you say?
I would also say Naren, because he's not timed out actually.
his time was 8 to 10 minutes, which was mentioned in the chat. So probably I think Naren was the best.
All right. Okay. Okay. All right. But it was a very tough competition. It was a very tough competition between 3 people and between 4 people actually. And the one person who took us all by surprise with a wonderful start to her Toastmasters journey, none other than Toastmaster Anam Rahman. Can we have a huge round of applause for the best speaker of the evening, Toastmaster Anam Rahman?
Congratulations, Anam.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Anam. We are very proud of you, and we are very proud of all the speakers and role players who graced the occasion, who graced the podium and made it a lasting memory for all of us. And before we sign off, I would just like to end by inviting everyone present in this meeting to our joint meeting with a fellow newer club, a sort of new club in the community, Virtual Masters Club, of which I'm also a member of. And guys, tomorrow we are going to host a world champion. He is a world champion of public speaking, finalist of 2020, Toastmaster Dr. Benjamin Vayo, and he has been one of the top 8 speakers among 364,000 speakers in the world. And we are going to host him tomorrow jointly with Virtual Masters Club. And I would invite all of you. The timing is 3:30 p.m. tomorrow. And if you would like to get in touch with us regarding the meeting, kindly let us know. And you can also get in touch with either me or Gurpreet or anybody in the house, and would love to host you. Thank you so much, guys. And the floor is open for some informal chit chat. And I officially declare the meeting closed here. Thank you and good night.
Anam,
If anybody would like to stay.
Have you gone in shock?
Yeah.
Anam, are you
Yes,
okay or have you gone in shock?
Because it's kind of clashing with the meeting.
Yeah. No, I am a little shocked. Having
I
mentored,
am.
we know what we went through. But yes.
Exactly.
Hi, Amelia.
Wouldn't have been possible without you.
Yeah, I'm actually hoping you'd say that.
Wonderful speaker, Anam. Wonderful. Yeah.
Sorry. Just kidding.
Thank you. Thank
Yes.
you.
Surprisingly, you don't come to the meetings I invite you to, and you come to the meetings via other invitations, which I have come to know very discreetly. And I'm very heartbroken, but I'll manage.
Who did? I don't know. Something happened, and I just happened to be here.
No, I understand the invitation method has changed, much like Deoshi's hairstyle.
Okay. All right,
I don't
guys.
think any of us are being able to compete with his hairstyle today.
Guys, don't take this seriously. This is all that we are just trying to build up.
Don't take this seriously means what? You don't love me anymore, okay? Please.
No, I like you. I love you a lot.
I like you. It started with I like you. Somebody please record.
Oh my God.
जबरदस्ती का प्यार चाहिए इसको जबरदस्ती का.
Oh my God! I cannot believe you said that. You are officially disowned. Find yourself a new mentor. You are officially disowned.
I'll follow you to the moon and back. I'll follow you to the moon and back.
Look at the loyalty.
तू जहाँ जहाँ चलेगा.
मेरा साया साथ होगा.
Ekdam. This is a very good saya to have, by the way.
Our guest Ritika is wondering what are these people doing.
Which saya?
No, that's okay. Actually, I wanted to informally kind of thank Gurpreet because I have been being in touch with him and nudging him and calling him and asking him what is the format, how do you enroll and all of that. So thank you, Gurpreet, for your support.
Anytime. It's a pleasure having you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Gurpreet, for calling me for the meeting.
Thank you for coming.
I so knew that.
कुछ जल रहा है ना, जलने की बू आ रही है.
फाइन, ठीक है. ऐसे होता है, मतलब नए लोग मिल जाने पे ऐसे पुराना प्यार को तो भूल ही जाते हैं लोग. देवशी देख लो, तुम्हारे साथ भी ना कुछ टाइम बाद ऐसा ही होगा. I'm telling you.
कहना क्या चाहती हो? किसको नया प्यार मिल गया? I still love you, Archita.
No, you don't.
I do.
देवर्षि स्टार्टिंग में बोल रहा टाइम इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट इन लाइफ. आई लुक्ड एट हिज हेयर. भाई पहले बाल तो कटवा ले.
No, this is like, what are you saying?
जिंदगी में एक बार like I want to be bald and I want to have long hair. So long hair is done now. टकला होने का बारी आ रहा है.
So Archita, I'll clear the confusion. It was Shreya who pushed Gurpreet to call me. That's it.
Yes, I don't buy that.
No, I have chats. I can send you the proofs.
Oh, I saw Shahid sir here for some time. I was like, okay.
Yeah. I invited him and he was like silent listener probably.
Yeah, I
the
want to.
recorded.
Yeah, I'll text him and I'll tell him कि आप मेरे आने से पहले चले गए. I'm very heartbroken.